Hello and welcome to Reddit Sage. Let's now sit back and enjoy some of the most interesting Reddit stories of June 2024. Story 1. Over the past several years, I've constructed a remote cabin in the Alaskan wilderness on 50 acres of land. I'm flying there tomorrow with no intention of returning to society. I bought the land years ago and built a good cabin out there. And I've been filling it with resources and supplies I'd need to have a nice life out there. I've honestly never liked postmodern industrial society, and this project of the last 8 years is more or less my retirement plan. But I fell into some extra money, so I decided to step up the plan. I have everything set up. I sold my home here and everything I'm not taking with me. The nearest town to my cabin is about 80 miles, and I'll go there probably once every few months if I need supplies. Honestly, I'm so excited I can barely sleep. I really don't fit in with society and never have. I'd rather be free and isolated even if it's less safe. The land is beautiful, breathtaking even. People I've told about my plan think I'm crazy and say things like, "What if something happens and you die?" You mean die in the beautiful untamed wilderness of Alaska? There's no place I'd rather die, honestly. I in on journaling my time there and going mostly without internet, etc. The times I've been out there on vacations have been the best times of my life. I'm not leaving my home behind. I'm finally going home. Story 2. I met my soulmate while I was shopping for my wedding. So honestly, this happened over 4 years ago, but I've never told anyone till now. A few years ago, I was engaged to someone I thought I'd be spending the rest of my life with. Let's call him Marcus. We'd been together for over a year in a very serious relationship, and both of us knew we wanted to get married. It wasn't really a surprise when he popped the question, and of course I said yes. Thus began a long road of wedding planning, and I got to work right away. Immediately I went out, started buying flowers, decorations, picking a dress, all the typical things. I asked for Marcus to help plan or give his opinion, but he just kept insisting, it's a woman's job to plan a wedding. So I did. The day comes that I finally decide to pick out what my fiance and his groomsmen will be wearing, and I make the trip to our local men's warehouse to look at their selection of suits. When I get there, I'm greeted by one of the most handsome men I've ever seen. Well, not conventionally handsome. He was tall and so thin it was shocking, in a striped suit with large glasses and a mustache that he had curled at the tips. It might seem shallow to mention his looks, but he literally was my type that people had teased me about my entire life. My family are all farmers and had always made fun of me for liking nerds. He quickly introduced himself as Sterling and asked if he could be of any assistance. So I told him all about my wedding and he showed me what the store had to offer. He confidently told me that he'd helped with hundreds of weddings and fitted thousands of suits. And true to his word, he helped me pick the perfect ensemble. We chatted a bit about what theme I wanted, colors, etc. Turns out we both loved vintage style and had a lot of similar interests. I left the store that day very pleased to have gotten the perfect suits ordered and called my fiance to tell him the good news. Fast forward a few months, and somewhere in the midst of all the planning, Marcus had been acting strange. He had been arguing with me nonstop over everything, getting upset when I wanted to spend time with my family, going through my phone when I slept, and on one occasion he even refused to give me my own car keys so that I could go home. It wasn't long before I found out that he was cheating on me with one of my friends. They had been texting back and forth for a few weeks and had met up already. I was utterly devastated and thankfully had the mind to break things off for good. Losing Marcus hurt, but being betrayed by my friend felt like a gut punch. A few more months went by. The loneliness and anger had definitely set in. And wanting someone to talk to, I decided what the heck and downloaded Tinder on a whim. I had literally only been using the app for about an hour when a familiar face popped up. Yep, Sterling. I will literally never forget reading Oxford Dictionary in the streets, Urban Dictionary in the sheets. On his profile, corny? Yes. Did I laugh, though? Also, yes. I swiped right, and to my surprise, he had done the same. From there, we exchanged numbers, spent nearly 6 hours talking on the phone that night, and met up just a few short days later. Sterling was definitely surprised when I told him about what happened with Marcus, but he was incredibly sympathetic and respectful. We hit it off right away, and when I was ready, we started dating. We've been inseparable ever since, and are now married with our 3-month-old baby girl laying next to me as I type this. I'm happier than I ever imagined possible, and although our story's a little different, I'll believe I've truly found my soulmate. Story 3. 2 years ago, I won a huge amount of money in a settlement, and I'm essentially retired at 31, and no one in my life knows. I can't get into specifics due to the terms of the settlement, but I got more money than I ever dreamed I'd have. Enough to where I would never need to work again. I quit my job and I invested the bulk of it, and the investments paid off, and I essentially made nearly 6 times that money in the last 2 years. No one in my life knows exactly how well off I am. My immediate family and friends know I received a settlement, but not how much. Now that the pandemic is over, I spend my time traveling while my accountant and my broker handle everything else. And the money just keeps growing. I grew up pretty poor and was poor until said settlement happened. So it's still very new to me. I've been so blessed and I'm so grateful to be in the position I'm in. I've made a lot of anonymous donations to various charities I believe in and have seen firsthand what they've done to change lives with money I've sent them. I've tried really hard and succeeded at keeping out of the public eye, thankfully, but I'm honestly not sure what I want to do with the rest of my life, but I know I'm not stopping here. Story 4. I found out my girlfriend of 3 years cheated on me. She's coming home to an empty apartment today and a note. I found out when she was at work on Monday. I work from home, and her iPad kept making notification sounds. I went to go turn it off, and when I opened it, I saw all of the Facebook notifications from some dude, and they were definitely flirtatious and sexual. So I read through them. I couldn't believe it. She was 100% cheating on me with this guy for several months now. All those late nights at work or outings with girlfriends must have been this dude. I didn't even know we were having problems or she wasn't happy. I had even bought a ring and was planning to propose. I was crushed and still am. I can't reconcile it. I went to the jewelry store and returned the ring and made arrangements to take today off of work. She's the primary on the lease, so I'm just moving into a buddy's house, and I rented a U-Haul, and I'm loading everything I own in there and leaving. I also took some of the furniture we bought together, like our couches and our new TV. I have the receipts, and they were bought with my card. However, she did give me half of the money. Is that fair? No, but neither is me being cheated on. So I think this balances it out a bit, and I don't feel particularly bad about looting the more expensive electronics and furniture we bought together given the circumstances. Also, I figure her new boyfriend can help her refurnish the apartment. I wrote her a note telling her I found out about all of her meetups with this other guy and that I'm not coming back. It legitimately bothers me how easy it is for her to do this level of betrayal and be a good enough actress to where I genuinely never suspected anything. I legitimately can't ever trust her again. Edit. I'm overwhelmed by how many positive comments there are and how many DMs I've gotten. Thank you all so much. It means more than you think Odie does. I'm doing okay just sitting at my buddy's house and I just finished unpacking. My phone would probably be blowing up by now if I didn't block her number. I just don't want to talk to her at all. I'm not interested in trying to rub it in or be petty. I just want her out of my life and to move on. Update. I've heard from a few people that my ex is absolute basket case right now and going apeshit trying to find me. She found the number from my brother's office, who is an attorney, and she went off on him, and he told her if she contacts him or myself again, he'll file for a restraining order, and hung up on her. One of her friends texted me and said what I did to her was cruel. I told her I was ready to marry her and wanted to spend the rest of my life with her, and she was fucking some guy behind my back for over 6 months, as far as I can tell. What I did might have been cruel, but it isn't as cruel as what she did to me. A buddy of mine and his girlfriend saw her at a bar getting shit-faced and breaking down until she got bounced. I don't take pleasure in it, I just want her to stay gone. If you are still here, consider subscribing as it helps other people discover and enjoy these stories. All right then, let's continue. Story 5. I'm going to leave my girlfriend of 9 years tomorrow. Me and my girlfriend, both 23, have been together since we were 14. We met when I moved schools and I got put in her class. We started hanging out a lot a month after I moved, and 6 months later, we started dating. For the first couple years, everything went great. We did a lot of fun things together. The first time we went on vacation by ourselves, I took her to Argentina because her older brother lives there, and I wanted to surprise her. 3 years ago, we started talking about starting a family, and last year she gave birth to our beautiful son. I thought my life was going great, but that changed 2 weeks ago when I got a call from her younger sister asking me to meet her because she had something to tell me. When I met with her sister, she got straight to the point. She told me that my girlfriend had been cheating on me with her friend. At first, I didn't want to believe it, but it turned out that my girlfriend had told her about it and told her to keep it a secret. After I left, I wanted to confront my girlfriend, but I decided to wait until tomorrow. No matter what she says, I'm leaving her tomorrow. And the only reason I'll stay in contact is for our son. Update. First off, I want to say that I forgot to put an important detail in my last post. I had talked to one of my now ex-girlfriend's friends. She confirmed all of it and even showed me screenshots of whole conversations they had. People also asked me to get a DNA test, but that is not needed. We already got a test done, and no worries, my son is mine. Okay, now onto the actual update. Last night, a couple hours after I made the post, I called my friend and we talked about it. Doing this was a bad idea because he got really pissed. Eventually, I got him to calm down, and after talking for a bit longer, we hung up. This morning, I consulted my lawyer. After I got done talking with my lawyer, I decided to confront her. I told her I had to talk to her and that it was pretty serious. She asked me what was wrong, and I told her what her sister had told me. I also told her that I talked to her friend and that she confirmed everything and even showed me proof. At first, she denied it and even accused me of not loving her. Things kind of got a bit heated, and I told her straight up that we were done. After I said this, she admitted everything. She admitted to cheating on me with not just her friend, but with multiple people, and that it has been going on for more than 4 years. After hearing all that she had to say, I got most of my clothes and some other important things. After I put my things in my car, I went back inside and held my son for a while before leaving. After I left, she texted me and even called me a couple times, but I ignored her. I decided to stay with my friend, and that is where I am at now. I'm going to stay here for a while, and I guess I'll just see what happens next. Story 6. My mother, who left 13 years ago to be with her new boyfriend, came back and wants to reconnect, so I left. My mother left me and my siblings 13 years ago to be with her boyfriend. My older sister took care of us, and for the past 13 years, she has basically been our mother. We didn't have it easy, but we managed, and eventually things started to get better. My younger siblings, twins, really missed our mother and would often ask me or our sister to bring them to her. We always told them that she didn't want us in her life and that they should forget about her, and for a long time it seemed like they did forget about her. A couple days ago, I was home alone when I hear a knock on the door. I open it and see our mother with her now husband. I was shocked, but asked what they wanted, and she told me that they wanted to talk to everyone. I told them that wouldn't happen and that they have to leave, to which her husband got angry and told me to show respect. We got in a bit of an argument, and suddenly they just pushed me aside and walked into the house. After a while, my older sister and younger siblings came home. My younger siblings were really happy and couldn't stop hugging her. They even went as far as to say that they missed her and that they love her. My older sister really wanted them to leave, but they didn't. After a little bit of arguing, our mother told us that she wants us back in her life and that she wants us to be a family again. My sister got angry and told them that she couldn't just come back after leaving us for so long and to expect that we'd be okay with it. This led to another argument, and this time, our younger siblings got involved and told both me and our sister that we were unfair and that we should forgive her since she came back. My sister just gave up and told them to do what they wanted. Our mother started asking us what we wanted to do, and my younger siblings told her that they want to be with her. When she asked me, I told her that if she came back into our lives, then I would have to leave. After another argument, then I went to my room to get some clothes and other important stuff. When I came downstairs, my sister tried to stop me from leaving, but I still left. I went to my friend, and I am still there. My sister and younger siblings have been calling and messaging me, asking me to come home and talk, but I haven't answered. I know I'm a dick for leaving, and I also know I should let my siblings do what they want. but I also don't want to be a part of it. If they really want her to be a part of their lives, then that is their choice, but I will stay gone. Update. There are some bits I forgot to put in, so I'll explain it here. My sister was 16, I was 10, and my younger siblings were 4 when she left. We never knew our father, and the only close enough family we had was our aunt who we stayed with until my sister was able to rent a place for us. Yes, 13 years later, we still live together. I'm mostly there because I'm saving up to get my own place, but I made some mistakes in the past, otherwise, I could have been living on my own already. She also didn't move in. They have their own place and only wants us to be part of their family. I left because I don't want anything to do with that woman. Story 7. I almost died while saving a kid and I felt peace. So last week I was at the train station and it's a pretty big one, so there's always a lot going on. So when a small boy around the age of 4 maybe fell into the track, nobody seemed to notice at first. His mother, of course, realized a few moments later, and I did too. His mother was full of bags, like she had literally something hanging off every limb. And guess fucking what? The train was supposed to arrive in a minute. I was honestly considering not posting this only because the situation was so IDK. It seemed like it was scripted for an old superhero movie. Lil kid falls into tracks. Mother is screaming but can't jump after him. Train is coming. I honestly don't even know how I acted so fast. I guess it was instinct. I only had a small backpack, so I just jumped in and picked up the E-kid. And by then, people, of course, realized the panicked mother who was dropping the bags as fast as she could. Another man quickly pulled up the kid who I picked up, and then the train came. All of this happened in like 10 seconds or so. The man and another man who wanted to help too took my arms in for just a sec as I looked at the train, which wasn't slowing down that much yet, because we were standing at the very beginning of the stop, zooming towards me. I felt peace. It was so quick, but for a second, I thought about letting go of the arms of the men. But then they pulled me up and the train zoomed past me, slowing down. Maybe I wouldn't even have died. But just the thought of maybe gave me too much peace. I don't know what to think of it. Story 8. My girlfriend knocked me out. For context, I am 6'2", 215 pounds, and my girlfriend is 5'2", 115 pounds. We were play fighting and she was doing her signature little sibling kick, where she's laying on her back kicking her legs in a bicycle pedaling motion. She was on the floor and I was standing straight up. I decided to pounce and reach down to flip her over to counter her kicks. I was successful in the flip, but didn't calculate for her other foot. She hit the most clean heel kick to my chin on accident. I stumbled backwards and landed on my back, was only out like 30 seconds. She was crying when I woke up, about to call 911. We high-fived after I calmed her down and got ice cream. Update. I am concussed. Story 9. Compulsive talking friend once trapped someone in a completely one-sided conversation for over 2.5 hours before we intervened. He was an Australian man in his late 40s in our university master's program. We'd known that he had a filter problem, was quite intense, and often got a bit too full on. But we had no idea what he was actually capable of until we saw it. After class at the end of the day, at about 4:30 p.m., we were standing outside of the library. As we were walking in, he caught the attention of one of our classmates, a very sweet, quiet, and overall gentle girl, about 21 years old, and started having a conversation with her. He was very animated as usual, and she just stood there listening with a smile. The rest of us headed into the library, where we jokingly made bets on how long he would talk to her before stopping. With no exaggeration, we literally watched him talk to her, completely one-sidedly from the library window, for over 2.5 hours. This was even after an hour of it where one of us approached them to shift his attention, giving her it out. But this girl was so bewildered and unfamiliar with it all that she didn't recognize the opportunity that it was to duck out. Finally, at like 7 o'clock, we approached them again where she eventually slunked away and escaped the whole ordeal. I don't even know what he was talking about the whole time, but I can't fathom how someone can be like this. How do you talk and talk and talk and talk for that long without letting the other person get a single word in? Someone you barely even know. Aside from all this, he was a normal guy with a rich and diverse background. Ended up graduating and holding down a job. Has a wife and bunch of kids. I had dinner with them occasionally and even house-sitted for him. But man, talk about a compulsive talker. Do you think it was some kind of disorder or condition? And with that, we conclude today's story time. Be free to share your thoughts in the comments section. And if you enjoyed this episode, remember to subscribe to this channel, as it helps massively. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.